Good morning, everyone. I hope you are well. I want to speak about Jesus, who is the bread of life, and we that eat from him and drink from him and feed on him. Now, I was just thinking of this very simple example of eating. I'm sure if you've cooked in your life before, that sometimes you tried something and it just didn't work out that well, and you eat, but it's not that satisfactory. You're like, okay, at least I did something, type of thing. I put some vegetables in my body, but it wasn't that successful. And then sometimes maybe you've eaten at a restaurant where they make gourmet type food, and you were like, wow, this is exquisite. And sometimes we miss a meal because we were in a rush and in a hurry and that kind of thing. But soon enough, we find ourselves that we need to eat again. And I'm sure you've been hungry as well, where you missed a meal and you're so hungry right now that you even become irritable and that kind of thing. And I was just thinking of the natural process of eating and desiring food and being filled and all of that. And I just want to show that metaphorically to you in terms of eating the word. Now, let's first read the scripture and then we'll continue. So I'm reading from John 6. Now, in John 6, Jesus speaks about the that he is the bread of life, and even the manna that Moses gave was not the bread from heaven, but Jesus is the bread from heaven. And that he says that when we eat of him, that we can live. So let me read verse 57 to you. It says, just as the living Father sent me, and I live by the Father. Huh? Or even in brackets, through or because of the Father. So he lives by the Father. Even so, whoever continues to feed on me, whoever takes me for his food and is nourished by me, shall in his turn live through and because of me. Now, so what he's explaining, he's saying, listen, I live because of the Father, by the Father, for the Father, through the Father. In the same way, if you feed from me, then you will continue to live of me, by me, through me. Okay. So, in this context, obviously, Jesus was speaking about the communion, his body and his flesh. And some of the people were very offended because he said, drink my blood and eat my flesh. But if you read a little bit further, then the disciples, basically, Jesus said to the disciples, do you also want to go? And they said, where will we go? Because with you we find the words of life. So there's many scriptures that you can go to in the word, but when we speak of the body or of Jesus, the bread, we're not only speaking about the communion, we speak about the words of Jesus. And I just basically want to bring this to you today, that we continually need to feed on Him. We need to continually feed from the Word until we are satisfied. Now, that doesn't mean I don't mean like one day in heaven satisfied. I mean you can read a word and study the word. Sometimes it will take you a while. Sometimes it will be one verse and you will be so satisfied. And then tomorrow you will eat again. Give us today our daily bread. So this is a continual process. And then sometimes I've read the word, and like I said in the beginning of you don't feel maybe that satisfied because maybe you didn't connect or have really that fellowship with Jesus. And instead of feeling condemned about it, just say, okay, well, I didn't maybe get something from the word today. Maybe my ear or my thoughts weren't that inclined, because there's life here. And Jesus says also, I will give you that if you stop toiling for the food that perishes. But I will give you that. I think is that verse 27. So go and read John 6. You will be blessed and you will be fed. So the thing is, just sometimes we skip a meal and sometimes we become irritable because we just haven't fed very recently on the word. And I just want to encourage you, whatever your capacity, there is no right or wrong. All of our diets are very different, but eat until you are satisfied. And if you sometimes miss it, if you sometimes don't have a great meal, don't worry so much about it. Don't feel judged, condemned, or try to analyze it. just eat again. When we continue to feed on Him, we will have life. The just will live by faith. And in the same way, He says, if you continue to feed of me, you will live by me. So I hope this bless you and encourage you to just get into the Word today. Bless you.